Okay, you cats and kitty cats, this is Nik Beat. Howl is the name of the show, spoken word, music, poetry, and talk on 89.5 FM on your dial, coming out of Toronto, Canada on September 17th. We'll be right back with our first guest, Dana. It's comedy. It's always a comedy.
Improv. A little improv. Just like the 60s music.
Okay, you cats and kitty cats, this is Nik Beat, the great and powerful. Hope you are having a wonderful night out there. And we're in the studio tonight. We're in the map booth on the main floor of Hart House, University of Toronto downtown campus, coming at you from the universe to the universe. So I hope you are enjoying your wonderful fall, winter weather. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty cold out there. Anyway, we are back with Howl, which is mostly spoken word and talk, radio, and music, and hope things are going well for our listeners out there. Okay, our first guest on the show is Dana Skukauskas. And she has a really excellent photo show, art show, that we'll be talking about presently. She's here in the studio, but before she comes on, we're going to let you know a little bit about her. She's born in the lush green rolling hills and backdrop of a multicultural Hyde Park during the 1960s. Dana was raised by parents who were immigrants of mixed Lithuanian, French, Polish, and Hungarian heritage. Dana was an older child, older parents, who met in Toronto after World War II, married and settled in Hyde Park. Through the years, she explored a Renaissance woman's journey to find her true creative arts passions of photography, writing, and teaching. She is indeed a teacher. We'll talk about that. Dana's favorite solo journey has been taking her Nikon camera, the shirt on her back, a knapsack, a notepad, a couple of maps, and a compass to just travel in one direction and find a way home, back to Toronto within a few weeks, months, or years, depending on her destination and adventures along the way. We're very, very happy to have Dana Skukauskas here in the studio. Good to see you, Dana.
It's great to see you as well. Good evening, Nik.
You have got a very nice photo exposition. Now, let's let people know where it is. It's actually photographs from her life in Japan and the UK. And we'll give out the sites after the interview. The location is we're getting some ringing here, so I guess I gotta turn down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Its location is Sandra Rinomatos, a real estate expert and TV host of HGTV's Property Virgins and by herself. And that's located at 2120A Bloor Street West. You can see the exhibit, and it's at the head office of this realty and gallery space also. So it's a combination of a real estate home office and a gallery. That's it. Very, how did you get the gig, lady?
It seems that anywhere I go in this journey of life with my camera in one hand or the other, whether it's my Leica from World War II or my Nikon from 1978, it seems that I just happen to be in the right place at the right time, where I just uncover a cave and just go into it and start shooting shadows on the walls. First of all, I have to say, nice to see you, Nik. Thank you very much for this invitation. Thank you. Beautiful introduction. I'm humbled. It's great to see you, and it's actually been a couple of decades since I walked into Hart House and felt this music and trumpets and horns and all kinds of violins. I don't know what's going on out there, but it sounds like the beginning of an orchestra. But music speaks to all of us, and in my journey as a photographer, I've really been inspired by doing a lot of traveling. And one day I got a phone call from Sandra Rinomato. I had just walked into her office not knowing what it was. And I said, gee, these walls are bare. It just needs art. And I left my business card. The next day I get a phone call from Sandra, who's better known as HGTV's host and personality and long-time a real estate expert that has been syndicated across the United States and Canada. And she said, Dana, why don't you drop in? I heard you're a local artist. I said, yes, I literally live around the corner from your office. And sure, let's get together. And she said, well, don't just come in and drop in for tea. Bring your photos. So, okay, which ones would you like to see? I've traveled around the world. I've been living in the Orient for 3 years. I worked for the Japanese government there. I've traveled through Europe, United Kingdom, Scotland. She said, well, bring a couple samples of each. And I thought, all right. Last wonderful exhibit I had was at the Museum of Civilization in Howl Sept. I was sponsored by the Japanese government, who actually invited me to work at one of their top athletic schools. I worked for the Ministry of Education in Japan, and I was asked to work at a school that produced the top athletes in Japan. So it was a school that produced not only athletes, but they studied human kinetics. It was really fascinating. And by the way, they went to school 6 days a week. And it was quite something. So I said to myself, well, being back in Canada, I think I'd like to share that experience, being a Canadian woman experiencing life in Japan. It's exotica at its best. And then I brought some of my photos from my extensive travels in the United Kingdom. When I was younger, I used to just pick up a last-minute trip, rail pass, whatever, knapsack, T-shirt, sweater, Nikon lake on my hand, and just go off one direction and never know when I'd come back. And that was just simply because there was a recession going on at the time. There were no jobs at home. I'd give up a waitressing job or whatever other full-time job I had at the time. It just didn't seem as exciting as having this escape and going to another continent and experiencing life the way it should be experienced. Camera in one hand, no set direction or plan. And so Sandra invited me in and she said, wow, masks, Japan. Wow, look at this architecture. I've got to put this art up. And I'm her first artist, local artist.
Wow.
Being in Hyde Park. Yeah, thank you. And she exhibited my work, and after that she invited other people to also forward their samples, and she wants to pretty much showcase local artists, starting with Hyde Park, and we'll see where she goes from there. But Sandra, if you're listening tonight, thank you. I hold you in such high esteem. Thank you very much for inviting me to share my photos.
I was there today. I dropped by to get your mission statement and bio. And it's good work. And she wasn't there today, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll be talking to Sandra soon. Maybe get her on our show.
That would be wonderful.
That would be fantastic. You teaching? What do you teach?
I teach for the Toronto Catholic District School Board. I teach English as a second language. And as a pastime, I've discovered comedy in the last couple of years. So I like to teach my students improv, stand-up comedy. And of course get them involved in the arts, whether it's animation or being involved in local exhibits. So that's about it.
Are you a comedian? Can we say that? Off hours?
We'll see if I can make you laugh at all before, after, or during the show. I'm not sure. It's not something I identify with, actually. But I admire people who are improvisers and stand-up comedians. It's a hobby for me.
I did it once. My friends Fast and Dirty challenged me to do one night of comedy, 20 minutes of stand-up. And I have to say, I've done plays, I've done rock bands, I've done this, I've done that. I've never been more frightened in my life than that night. That was just unbelievable pain.
Well, I salute you. And for me, it's the opposite experience, being an outlet for me. So like going to the gym, I suppose. I feel nowhere more comfortable than on the stage doing improv with comics or improvisers. It just feels just right.
Okay. And I can't do improv. I'm terrible at it, but you can.
I'll take you to Second City, to the John Candy Training Center one night. We can put your name in the bucket, see what happens.
Okay. It's going to be a disaster.
No, you're a man of words. You're so eloquent.
Yeah, but I can't make up things on the spot. That's one thing I'm really weak at. But we will do that. This is Nik Beat on CIUT's Howl Radio Show. We also visual now. We have a videographer, Penelope Smith, for hire. We hire her to do this show. if you want Penelope to do your show, she is for hire, very excellent rates. And we'll be talking a little later about the website for Penelope, where to go to. She's also on Facebook under Penel Smith.
And that's Google Plus.
Is it Google Plus?
Google Plus of Penel J. Smith. Facebook it's Penelope
Okay.
J. Smith.
Great. Thanks, Pen. And Pen is videoing it, and we'll be posting this on YouTube within a few days of the show, the entire Howl show. This is what you're listening to. And we've got 2 minutes left in our interview with Dana. And I want to read her artist statement because I loved what she says here.
Oh, you're so sweet, Nick. Thank you. And Penelope, thanks very much for being the videographer tonight. Great meeting you.
Actually, I'm going to get Dana. It's her statement. Maybe I should let Dana do it because it's very. I love what you said.
All right, Nick. Play some candlelight and wine music in the background, would you, Maestro? The sensual and strong beauty of nature, a captivating moment of unexpected serenity, or a blissful second in a person's sacred journey of life, are passionately captured with my 1978 Nikon and World War II Leica during my adventurous journeys through the United Kingdom, the Orient, the United States, and back to home sweet home, Toronto, where I was born and currently reside, to bring you here today to view the images which I have photographed, while my heart skipped a beat and captivated my spirit.
Wow.
Is everyone in the Zen moment right now?
My mic was taken away from it. It stood.
I was wondering what that movement was. I thought it was back in Japan. Is it earthquake or tsunami? What's going on here?
Well, I got to get a better grip on my mic. But anyway, hope you're enjoying Howl. I certainly am in the studio, just having these semi-comedy moments. But I really loved Donna's work. You should see it again. Let's get to the websites. What websites can people go to check out your work?
Thanks for asking, Nick. Actually, my website and blog are under construction right now.
Okay.
I'll keep you up to date on where it's at next time.
Okay.
You can catch me on Dana Chevalier, spelled like Dana, D-A-N-A, Dana Chevalier on Facebook. You can get me at Artsy Serenity on Twitter. I wanted to mention, when people come to the exhibit, I have a couple of photographs from the Sendai City, Miyagi Prefecture area of Japan. And that is the area a couple of years ago that got hit with a huge tsunami. And a lot of the people that I knew when I lived there basically have passed away, have died. Entire sections of the coastal Sendai Miyagi Prefecture have basically been, swept away. So basically I've captured masks and festivals and tender moments and the slice of life on the northernmost unexplored coastal prefecture of Miyagi, which is a couple hours north by bullet train from Tokyo. And my heart is still there. I feel half Japanese. I know I'm a white, blue-eyed, blonde woman, but when I came back from my experience in Japan, I embraced the people. They embraced me and adopted me on many levels. And it was not just a spiritual journey or a career move for me. It was a place to be, to explore how people live in a different way, modern and yet traditional, and really passionate about everything they do. So I feel still today that I am part Oriental, and a week doesn't go by where I'm not making sushi rolls or speaking Japanese every opportunity I get, but most of the sushi owners seem to be Chinese in Toronto. But I think I'll work on my Mandarin and Cantonese skills. But what's interesting, I think, for photographers or travelers in this beautiful world that we live in, is that one moment you capture an image, and next moment that place might just disappear, and that's literally what happened. Tsunami, earthquake, these people and places have disappeared, and I feel honored and privileged that I was able to be so captivated and have my spirit flutter and then grab all these images when I could, and I just had to. I felt a compulsion to do so, and I feel really honored to have lived in Japan. It was a wonderful experience.
And you've captured some of Japan in her photos, actually. And where is that located one more time? It's 2120A, Bloor Street West.
It's in the High Park Lewis Village area, just steps from the Runnymede Library and Runnymede Station, between Runnymede and High Park. Great area to explore as well. If you have a chance, you might meet Sandra Rinamato herself and be greeted by her big shaggy dog. Amazing woman. I really look up to her for many reasons, and for her to mentor and invite artists that are local to High Park once she sets up her head office there, that is really a lovely gesture on her part.
It's great to have you here, Donna. Thank you again. Congratulations on your art show.
It's great being here. Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. This is Nik Beat on CIUT's Howl 89.5 FM on your dial. I'm actually going to ask Donna if she could get Mr. James Dewar into the hot seat. And then a little later, we're going to be talking to Pat Connors about 100,000 Poets for Change. Also mentioning Jan McIntyre's, also doing the 100,000 Poets for Change, and along with a music night. We'll be talking about that. Talking to, of course, Krystle Chance. We're very lucky to have Krystle Chance live in the studio. We're going to be playing a track right after the James Dewar interview of a new song, Let Me Know, on CIUT's Howl Radio, and I'm Nik Beat. Hope you're enjoying the show. Yeah, if you see this visually, you're going to be seeing Donna talking, and I'm doing these hand gestures trying to get a hold of James. So, yeah. But what can you do? It provides a little comedic, accidental, I don't know, theater to the whole proceedings. James, good to have you back on Howl.
It's great to be back. It's been about over a year at least, I would say.
Definitely. You're still doing hot sauced words.
Yes, we're still doing it at the Black Swans Tavern over on Danforth and Broadview. We're coming into 6 years now.
Oh my God.
I know. I had hair when the show started.
Has it really been that long? Because
Yeah.
it just seems like yesterday you guys moved there.
Yeah, we started way down in Queen West, down at, it's not a deli, across from the hospital, a long time ago.
Okay.
So it's been going really well. I'm really happy with the show. We still pretty well follow the same format. Have good crowds. People are writing poetry during the show, and great poets are performing during the show. So I really like it.
Definitely. I was actually a feature a month or two ago. It was a fabulous night. Black Swan is actually the upper floor where all these events are taking place, including, Live Words with Edward Nixon and on and on and on. Has been refurbished. It looks amazing up there now. So it's quite a place to do an event at.
Yeah, they've done a very good job. They had the roof collapse or something during one of those awful thunderstorms we had last year. And so they replaced the roof, and then they replaced the floor, and they brought in all that beautiful new furniture, the hardwood floor, a new stage.
So that's what got them to do all that, the
Yeah.
flood.
The flood.
Oh my
The flood.
God.
No mud, just flood.
Where is the Black Swan for those that don't know where it is?
It's on Danforth, just east of Broadview. It's right across from the basically the music hall.
Okay.
The Danforth Music Hall.
Okay. This is Nik Beat. We're talking to poet James Dewar, who is also the host of Hot Sauced Words. Now, Hot Sauced Words mixes like featured performers and an open mic. Also both, right?
Yes.
It's not just
Yes. We start the show with 6 open micers, 3 minutes each, just to get people kind of in the mood and to get the newer poets a chance to get up on stage, get the feel what it's like. That's how I got started, was on an open mic. So our show will always have one. It's a good place to get those jitters out of you when you're first starting out.
Now you also have Piquant Press.
Yep.
What is that? For those that don't know.
Piquant Press, Piquant, as in Tom Press, is a press that I started 2007, 2009 really took off. I like to publish one poet a year. I pick a poet that is really, I think, writing really good poetry and has something to say that I think people want to hear. Kate Marshall Flaherty was the very first poet I published.
That's right.
And the second one was Laura Bozabalian, another fantastic. And now it's going to be Susie Berg, a really good poet. Her book is called How to Get Over Yourself.
Why are you looking at me that way?
I hope there's some good advice for me in there,
Okay.
and maybe others who shall not be named. But
Okay.
I've helped with the book. It came to be really clean. She's a great poet. She's workshops her poems. She hangs out with other poets, which is what you should do. Get lots of feedback, learn how to write, learn the different kinds of poems that you can write, and get up there and practice them over and over until you really get good at it. And she's ready.
This is Nik Beat. We're talking to Mr. James Dewar, who is a poet, a host of Hot Sauce Words, Piquant Press, and as he was saying, they've got a new release coming out. And a little later, we're going to be talking to Mr. Pat Connors, who's going to be talking about, again, 100,000 Poets for Change, big event, September 28th, Victory Cafe, talking about the lineup for that. We'll also be giving a little info because Jan McIntyre could come in, but we'll let you know what she's got around the same day, basically. And hope you're enjoying Howl Spoken Word Show, music show. We're having a bit of music right after our interview with James, which is Krystle Chance. And then we're going to be talking to Krystle a little later in the second half of the show. And I'm your host, Nik Beat. Next week is Nancy Bolus's turn after the show is over tonight. 11 o'clock, stay tuned for more CIUT programming. Sex City will be coming up. Also, in a month, hey, it's fundraiser time. Yeah, the time that Nick loves more than anything. He loves to raise those funds and have fun. We got that in a month coming up. So if you want to keep supporting Howl and CIUT, keep that in mind. James, do you have any poetry you could read?
No, I didn't bring anything. I've been.
What?
I didn't. I haven't been writing that much. I've been working on getting Susie's book together. Sue and I are doing a workshop at the Royal Ontario Museum this Saturday called Rhymes at the ROM. We're going to take poets through the museum and write poetry all day. So we've been excitedly getting that organized. I have been working on a novel, but it never seems to end. And so I'm going on vacation. Sue Reynolds and I are partners. We're going on vacation very soon, much needed vacation. We've been working, helping other people for a long time. And now we need
You have?
Yeah.
Both of you have. Sue, what does Sue do?
Sue's the graphic designer. She's a wonderful poet. She designed the book covers. She does all the book covers.
It's a fantastic cover. We'll show that someday.
Someday we'll show it on the radio.
That's right.
When you can do that.
And you can show it.
There it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
There it is. You can only see the little blue part, but I know you can't see. But she's a fabulous graphic designer. Did the work for Harbourfront for many, many years, where she was invaluable there. But Sue, I think's greatest asset is that she's a wonderful, loving person. She helps a lot of people through her Amherst Writers and Artists method of teaching writing memoir and writing people telling their story. She has she puts on many workshops and helps a lot of people become really good writers. And that's the thing that's really amazing about Sue Reynolds, is that spirit of giving and that help that she gives to a lot of them.
That's for sure. This is Nik Beat. We're talking to James Dewar. We got a minute left in our interview. Stay tuned for a song by Krystle Chance, which is Let Me Know. She's a new artist, soul and R&B singer that I saw outside at City Hall as part of an art show, Eureka Global Art, that I was part of. And my friend Paris Black, I got to thank him for again for getting me to be part of that. By the way, my art show, I have two events coming up. Artist in Attendance, October 12th, Saturday, from 12 noon to 6. I'll be there all day. We're going to be having different musicians come in and readers come in and read, perform while I do a collage actually live in the studio itself. Hopefully get some help. Come on down, help me. I know it's Thanksgiving, but you know, give a little to Nik Beat. But anyway, that'll be that. And then October 19th, a new piece of mine, a large collage of mine called Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood, is being unleashed to the world at the Catalyst Gallery, 666 Spencer West. What's your criteria for picking the person that you pick for your releases? Because you only do one.
For Pecan Press?
Yeah.
They have to, the poetry has to come right from inside. To me, it's not so much what the words mean, it's about how they make you feel. A poet who can really make you feel something over and over again, one poem after another, is someone who I think has tapped their inner resources very well and is getting better and better at it. And they also have to be a real wordsmith. They have to be good with words. They're not messy. They're very tight on how they put their poems together. And I guess consistency over a period of time. If you're going to put together 70, 80 poems in a book, that's a lot of poems.
It is.
And you've got to write several hundred to get down to that many. And it's amazing how some people can get that done probably in their 20s and early 30s, and some people take till they're like my age in their 60s. And then they finally got enough to think that they've got a book there. But every poet's on the same road. They're trying to describe the universe in a way that means something to somebody else, because we're all conduits. I think we speak for everybody. And that's why I believe that we should all help each other become better poets, because the world needs to hear what we have to say. Because it's getting worse. And we have to speak up. It's got to start writing up these things.
Well said, James. It's James Dewar. Thanks, James, for being on House.
Thanks for inviting me, Dave.
It's good to have you back. And we are here in the studios live at Hard House in the Mat Room tonight, coming out of Toronto, Canada. And we are going to take a little musical break with Krystle Chance. And I'm going to ask Krystle to come in here to listen to her song being played. And we're going to get Pat Connors in here to talk about 100,000 Poets for Change. And I'm going to have Mr. Connors sit. Oh, yeah, we got, actually, I hate to say this, Krystle. You know what? I'll move. That's what I'll do. I'll move over. Like the song says by Janis Joplin. I'll move over. We're going to have Pat Connors in the hot seat, but before we do, we're going to play Krystle Chance's Let Me Know. We'll be back with more Howl programming. Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was supposed to come in.
Can I take this one?
You know what? You know what, Krystle? Do you mind sitting here? I'm sorry about this.
I'm sorry about
It's
that.
just that I don't want him dealing with
No.
the incredible moving mic. Yeah, and then we'll get you in the chair when the interview comes up. Thank you.
Yeah. You need help in my Thanksgiving?
I can't hear you.
We're talking about the Thanksgiving.
No.
We're talking about the art show.
The art show. The Thanksgiving art show.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be in touch.
Okay, yeah, please, sorry. Yeah, my hearing isn't very good. To put it mildly. Yep. This is beautiful. Krystle, it's beautiful. Okay, we're back on the air. This is Nik Beat, host of Spoken Word Show, Talk, Radio, and Music. That was music by Krystle Chance, who we're going to be talking to in about 10 or 12 minutes. For those who have been waiting for Krystle to get on the air, I apologize for you. You have patience of a saint. She's been great, and we're going to be talking to her about her music career. I saw her at the outside of City Hall on stage. My friend Paris Black was actually part of that Eureka Global Art event. And just got to make two announcements before we talk to great Pat Connors, who is a poet, and we're going to be talking about 100,000 Poets for Change. A couple of announcements. One, Mushy Callahan CD release party is being rescheduled. It was supposed to be at the Tattoo Rock Parlor this Friday, September 20th. A new date will be announced as soon as possible. And looking forward to that. They're a great group. I've been listening to their music, and want to thank Michelle again McTeague for the media release. It will be rescheduled. Also, the Portobello Saturdays at the Portobello, hosted by Linda Stitt and Peter Soames. They have as their featured poet on October 5th at 1:30 p.m. Pam Mordecai, and also featured musician as Glenn Gary. Guest poet, singer, songwriter is Max Layton, who was on the show. Son of Irving Layton. Guest poet will be Karen Russell, guest musician Alan Fraser, and guest poet Ariel Lee. So that is Saturday, October 5th, 2015 at Portobello on Bay Street near Edward from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. Okay, Pat, it's good to see you back.
You too, Nick. Thanks, buddy.
What's happened? 100,000 Poets for Change. What time is it? What day is it? Where is it?
That's right. Saturday, September the 28th, 100,000 Poets for Change is a worldwide event that's been going on for several years now, and I'm hosting two events. The first one is at Bates Atune at 612 Markham Street at 1 o'clock, and that is featuring Banu Zan, Ayesha Chatterjee, and a number of other poets. And like the evening performance, I'm doing it in honor of Charles Roach. I worked with Charles Roach on the International Festival of Poetry of Resistance, and of course he was the former the Black Action Defense Committee in Caravana and so many other things as well, and he is the greatest man I've ever known. And when he passed away last year on October the 2nd, I pledged that I would do some things in his honor. And I've taken the opportunity to do that as well. And Paul Sonlick did such a great job designing these posters with his likeness on them, and pictures taken by Agnes Kazecki and KJ Mullins. And the evening performance will be at the Victory Cafe at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7. Please come and have dinner and bring a friend. Featuring featured performances by Robert Priest, Max Layton, Anna Yin, David Day, Luciano Iacobelli, Janine Pitas, Dane Swan, Terry Barker, Ewan White, Norman Christofoli, and a young poet by the name of Nik Beat.
Aha, if only that were true. If only I was young again like I was in the 90s. But anyway, yeah, very well. Who came up with the idea of the name of it? Like, what was that?
That started out in California. Michael Rothenberg started it as a very small grassroots thing to bring poetry to the people, and this is what you want to see change in the world. It's boomed into this worldwide event, this podcast, 68 countries last year, and there's probably going to be even more this year. It's going to be amazing, and we've got a few other shows going on in Toronto as well. Jan McIntyre has an all-day thing going on down at Maple Leaf Tavern on Lakeshore Boulevard West. There's an art show. There's more poets than she can possibly imagine for 3 hours in the evening, and then there's musicians. And Honey Novick, who's so wonderful. She's done so much for me and other people. She is doing her thing for Literarity, which is a project of the St. Clair Arts Network. It's in its 7th year at Ellington's Cafe at 805 St. Clair West, a place I love, and I'm going to be there the next few Sundays. And she is hosting a show that also features Joan Sutcliffe, Ruth Stackhouse, Kate Kitchen, Artis Harriman, and our poet laureate, George Eliot Clark. So it's going to be absolutely amazing, and apparently there's going to be other surprises, and it starts at 7:30 on the 28th. So there's a lot going on.
Jesus Murphy, holy crow. This is Nik Beat. We're talking to Pat Connors. Hope you're enjoying the show. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking to Krystle Chance. Yes, the lady whose music you just heard is a fantastic track, Let Me Know, and we'll talk to her. She's been very patiently waiting to get on the air. Nick, get me on the air, and we will have on there very soon. By the way, I have a mea culpa apology to make, which is originally scheduled, was supposed to be Carolyn Mears. It's done a biography of Leonard Cohen called I'm a Man. That has to be rescheduled. Sorry, my apologies about that because it was advertised that way on Facebook. But anyway, we re-advertise it, and Krystle Chance was our leitmotif, as they say. And we'll be talking to her in a couple of minutes. Pat, didn't you write a poem, either dedicated or inspired by your friendship with Charles?
I sure did. Charles said to me, Pat, you're a people's poet, and that's really great, but you have to have the people know when you're done your poems, because sometimes my poems fade off, and that's sometimes a good thing to do, but when you're doing people's poetry, it's very good to let the people know when the poem is over. So I wrote a poem called Such As This, which I dedicated to him, which I will also be reading just after the intermission at both performances, while I also do a short tribute to Charles Roach.
Okay. This is Nik Beat. I hope you're enjoying Howl. We've got about a minute and a half left in our interview with Pat Connors. Pat, this has been going on for what now, 3 years?
100,000 Poets for Change is in its 4th year.
Okay.
I was involved in it as a performer 2 years ago, and then last year I organized a couple of events, and this year I'm again organizing a couple of events.
I was part of the one that was, I think a couple of years ago. It was at House of Lancaster, I think. Was that
Yes,
right?
I was not at that one. I've heard great things about that one. It was very popular performance.
It was. You know what was funny though? It was that two of the strippers. It's a strip club. Two of the strippers were playing the gambling machine while we were, doing our thing and looking like so bored. It wasn't even funny, but it was so hilarious to see the looks on their faces while they were losing more money in this gambling machine at the bar. But anyway, that was fun. I mean, to do poetry in an exotic dancer was quite exciting. But anyway, we're here with the hat. Pat, can we let people know again where
Absolutely.
Where to skip?
The shows that I'm hosting for 100,000 Poets for Change are both on Markham Street, which is just west of Bathurst and Bloor, just south of Bloor. The first one at 1 o'clock is at Beit Zitoun, which is a Palestinian house. It literally means the House of Olives, at 612 Markham Street at 1 o'clock, featuring Banu Zan, Aisha Chatterjee, Ali Abbas, Susan Jamil, Kareem Shahlan, Sean Ratcliffe, Sharang Naman, Ikwanalani, and Steve Hall, who is a longtime friend of Charles, and he's part of it. There's a reason for that, and also his wife Agnes took the wonderful picture on the poster. And the evening performance will be at 8 o'clock, also on Markham Street at the Victory Cafe, 581 Markham Street, site of Rowers Pub, once upon a time site of the Art Bar. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Please come and bring a friend and have dinner and see the great poets Robert Priest, Max Layton, Annie Yin, David Day, and even Nik Beat, and all in honor of Charles Roach.
Sounds good to me. Very worthy. This is Nik Beat, and I'm now going to ask Pat to get up out of his seat and let the lovely and the talented Krystle Chance sit in our hot seat and talk to her about her music. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Pat, very, very much. This is Nik Beat. Hope you're enjoying Howl, and we are. There we go. Sorry about that, Krystle. God bless her. She's been waiting so patiently to get on. It's not even funny. But anyway, we're really, really happy to have her live in the studio. I saw her perform at the Eureka Global Art event, and she was absolutely took my breath away. And also, my friend Paris Black. I've got to thank him again for getting me involved with Eureka Global Art, and otherwise I wouldn't have seen this lady do her thing. Now, are you an R&B soul singer? Is that the right label, or do you like that label?
I wouldn't just call myself an R&B soul singer. I cross genres. It's not only R&B. I infuse 80s soft rock into my music. There's pop and adult contemporary. I think it's more of a fusion of various genres.
Okay. I'm going to let you know a little bit about her. Okay. She's kind enough to provide a bio. With eye-inspiring vocals, Krystle Chance is a nationally talented vocalist, songwriter from Toronto. Primed to launch her career, Krystle captures the power and soulfulness of her influences. Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Luther Vandross, among others from that era. Those influences have helped her construct Her intrinsic sonic creations and powerful release of her innermost secrets, feelings, and emotions. I can attest to that because I saw her absolute live on stage. All of it which will be heard on her upcoming musical endeavors. She's been singing since the age of 10. Krystle realized her passion for music, which has now taken on a life of its own. Encouraged by her mother's faith and her abilities, Krystle stuck with music, and Krystle took a more conventional route by attending the Ontario Conservatory of Music for both piano and vocal training. Now Krystle uses her technical musical background and fuses it with her raw emotion and passion to incubate her artistic creations. We are very lucky to have Krystle actually here in the studio. And Krystle, you haven't been doing this very long, but you look like you've been doing it forever. You didn't miss a note. You didn't seem nervous. You did great. How do you do it?
I just love to do it, so it just comes out naturally again. When I'm on stage, I feel, I don't know, something takes over me, and I just sing. I don't think about it too much. I just go on and sing.
Now, the song that we just heard, Let Me Know, is that a finished product that's going to be on an album? Is it a demo? Like, it sounds very well produced.
It's mixed and mastered. It's going to be a bonus track on my cover project. So right now, what I'm working on is a compilation of covers that are interpreted by me. Taking them, doing my own spin to them, and it's going to be a bonus track. And that's going to be in the interim before I release my EP coming out next year.
Coming out next year.
Yeah.
Okay, well, congratulations. Now, you're an indie artist. You're not on a label currently. Why? Because you just started?
I don't know. I guess no one's found me again. I have no idea why. No one's found me again. Just putting myself out there right now. So.
Okay. We talked during the break about that your family has been really supportive, but it says here that your mom's faith in you was really a guiding force for you. A lot of people don't have that. Some people don't have their parents loving what they do, especially in the arts, but your family did.
Yeah, I mean, my mom recognized very young that I loved to sing. I was, connected to music. So she took me and she said, you know what, do you want to go to vocal lessons? I said, yeah. And I think that was one of the greatest gifts she gave me, putting me in that realm and helping me to cultivate my art. So I thank her for that all the time.
Definitely. This is Nik Beat. We're talking to a singer, a songwriter, Krystle Chance. We heard a song, Let Me Know, earlier in the show. Hope you're enjoying it. We're in the second half of Howl, and we got about maybe 15 minutes to go. Remember, at 11 o'clock, after Howl ends, stay tuned for more CIUT programming. The show Sex City is going to be happening. So listen to that, and I hope you're enjoying our Howl show. As I said, in a month, we're going to be doing our fundraiser show as usual, and we'll be asking, for your donations and to keep the show on the air and keep CIUT programming on the air. Krystle, what's it like trying to get a band together to perform live with you? Is that tough? Has that been easy? How's it been for you?
It's very hard, especially if you don't know a lot of people in the industry that can do that for you. It's very tough.
Okay. Did you have a live band performing with you on the Eureka Global Art stage? Or was it backing tracks?
It was backing tracks.
And that's because it's hard to
find people, a group of people that you mesh with. It's not just finding musicians to play for you. It's finding people that you can vibe with and you guys can, I guess, share that energy on stage, right? Okay. So I haven't found that yet.
Is it, when you're doing that, and a lot of artists, especially when they're beginning, have to use backing tracks, it's just the nature of the game. But does that affect you, that you're not interacting with the energy of live human beings? Does that cut you off at all from some source of energy, or no? Because
no,
you were fine.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think, I guess that energy that I would get from my band, I kind of get it from the audience, right?
Okay.
So when I'm looking at you, when I'm looking at the audience and I'm seeing that they're, vibing to my music, I guess that creates the energy for me to keep going on.
Okay. Now, this EP that's coming out, when you say an EP, that means what? 4 songs, something to that effect?
4 to 5 songs.
Why an EP and not a full CD full of music?
Well, I think just to introduce myself to the world, I don't think a full album is needed at this point. Once I give people a taste of who I am and what my sound is, when I get a response from it, then I can work towards an album. So I just figured it would be the most practical thing to do at the moment.
Can I ask you? You cite Whitney Houston as an influence. Well, how did you feel about her death? Were you surprised? Were you shocked? How did you feel about it?
I was sad. I cried because I mean I grew up on her music. She was one of the reasons why I said I want to do this. Hearing her, her songs for the first time was like, who is this person and why is she so good? And I want to be like that. So I literally cried when she died.
Okay, this is Nik Beat. We're talking to singer Krystle Chance. Hope you're enjoying the Howl radio show with Nik Beat. Next week will be my co-host, Nancy Bullis, in the hot seat. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a fantastic show. By the way, we just bagged Marilyn Lightstone. She will be on November 10th. I'm really excited. She's a spoken word artist of major proportion, and of course the paramour of Moses Neimer, and she's going to be on the show. I'm really, really excited to have Marilyn as part of the show. As I said, we'll be rescheduling our Leonard Cohen show in the near future, and I hope you're enjoying our interview with Krystle Chance. Krystle, what is the aesthetics of your show? In other words, do you have a conscious aesthetic of how you're going to be presented? You had your hair out to here. It was pretty wild, but it was very memorable. How conscious are you in creating an image for yourself? Or do you have someone doing that for you?
I don't have anybody doing that for me at the moment. I do it myself.
Okay.
Well, what I try and do is I gauge who I'm performing in front of. And I don't want to be too offensive, but at the same time, I do want to be myself and be memorable. So it just depends on who I'm performing in front of and what type of song I'm performing. And then I will create the image around that.
Okay. There's been a lot of ridiculous, unbelievable controversy over the Miley.
Yeah.
So, like, I watched that, I don't know, so what? I mean, only in America did they get. It's funny, Janet Jackson exposes a nipple with a ring in it. They get all excited about it. The Iraq War, oh, rah, 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 or whatever. I'm being a little bit disingenuous, but you know what I'm getting at. What did you think of the whole thing? You're a performer. What do you think? Did she do anything?
I don't think she did anything wrong. She was just performing. What she wanted to do was capture the attention of her audience and be memorable, and she achieved that. So, I mean, in some people's eyes, it wasn't the best way to do it, but for her, it's a win because she did what she set out to do. So I call the power to her, I guess.
Okay. What about Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson. I think that was more of a wardrobe malfunction, wasn't it?
That's what they said.
I don't know. I'm gonna take it as a wardrobe malfunction. I'm gonna do that.
This is Nik Beat. We're talking to the lovely Krystle Chance, and glad to have her in the studio. And for those that were waiting patiently to have her on, she's here, and we're having a good time. Hope you are too. This is Howl, a spoken word show, radio, talk, and music show that comes out of CIUT-FM 89.5. We're also on the worldwide internet. We're heard all over the world at www.ciut.fm. And we're also on Rogers Cable Channel 946 and Star Satellite Channel 826. So we're heard all over the place. And I hope you're enjoying the show. Krystle, what is your long-range plan? What is it? To be as big as Janet Jackson? Lady Gaga.
I want to get 8 Grammys.
8 Grammys. Okay. I like that.
That's the goal.
Okay. So who's the last person to get 8 Grammys?
Adele got 7, I believe.
She did?
Yes.
She got 7.
In 1 year.
Oh
That's
my
amazing.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm striving for 8.
Okay. I hear you. With this Nik Beat, we're talking to Krystle Chance. We've got about 4 minutes left in our interview, and then we're going to play a track called Lid by a fantastic Toronto rock band from 10 years ago called, no, I can't remember. So long ago, I can't remember. But we're playing that track as the outro, and then, of course, Sex City will be coming up. Krystle, what is your stage demeanor when? How do you handle it when things go wrong? I mean, I didn't see anything go wrong in your performance, but how do you handle it? Do you just completely ignore it? Or do you go, what the heck is going on here? And I've seen performers do that. I do that sometimes when I perform. But how do you handle it?
The show must go on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to stop performing if things are going wrong. If my mic cuts off, then throw the mic down and sing with the audience. Go in the audience and sing with them. I mean, just got to keep going.
Yeah.
That's it.
Who are your other influences? Who else really stokes you?
Recent artists or
Recent artists, yeah.
recent artists.
If any.
Adele, of
Adele.
course. Emily Sandé. A lot of the British artists, I think they're amazing. Who else? Those are the two that really stick out in my mind right now.
Why Adele? What's she got?
I think because her music is so honest, she was able to, take a situation that she was in and create this beautiful project, and it just worked seamlessly for her. And I just love the honesty. I love honest music. Just being able to express yourself, whether it's, joyful, sad, just putting it out there and letting people receive it.
Okay. It's Nik Beat talking to Krystle Chance. Hope you're enjoying our Howl show, and for all our also viewers, we're also now videoed to YouTube. We'll be posting this post facto of the show, obviously. Also, this show is archived within 24 hours. You can hear the entire show, including Krystle's interview with me, within about 24 hours or so. At www.CIUT-FM, you just go to archive link, press it, and then you got it. Okay. Krystle, what's a challenge for you? So what's your range, by the way? Do you have a huge range? Because it sure sounded like it when I was listening to it.
I think I can do maybe 3.5 octaves, 3 to 4 octaves.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not today, I'm a little bit sick.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what your relationship is to your songs. In other words, do you write all your songs? Do you have collaborators? How does that happen?
So far I've written all my songs. I would love to collaborate with, great writers. But for me, my music has been therapy so far. I don't always write about my own situations, but I just write about things that I see. So either it could be about me, it could be about, a friend, it could be about what's happening in society. I just write about whatever's around me. That's what I write about.
Let me know where's that coming from, that song?
I guess that's coming from looking at relationships, and sometimes people don't necessarily know what they want, or both parties don't know what they want from each other, and it's just asking that question to just tell me, just be straight up and tell me what it is. So I was just something I was thinking about, so I put it down on paper.
Oh, it's a lovely song. It's very moving, actually, to hear that song. Especially, I'm sort of going through a little bit of that right now myself, so it was very piquant, I think is the word, relevant. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Krystle. It's great to have Krystle Chance on Howl. This is Nik Beat. I'm going to be signing off, or we're going to have a song called Lid from Memories of a Happy Hell by the Sinisters. And thank you for listening to CIUT's program. We got more. We got Sex City coming up. This is Nik Beat. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Enjoy the song by the Sinisters. Take care. Excellent.
Thank you so much. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, next time it'll be longer, for sure. As you can see, we got this show's really popular. We have tons of people to get on. You did really well.
Thank you. It's my first time, so.
Is this your first time doing radio?
Yeah.
Can you believe that, Penelope?
Wow.
Yeah, you're very well spoken.
Thank you.
Very well spoken. You did great, lady. No worries. You did really, really good.
Thank you so much again.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let us know, obviously, when the EP's coming out.
Of course.
Yeah. And are you having a release?
I plan
Party?
to.
Okay.
But that'll be sometime next year. We're just done.
Okay. In Toronto?
Yeah, not next year.
Okay. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, he's doing his thing. Did I